Let's have this off here. Oh, there's some steam coming out of there. Oh, look in there. And there you are, that's our old-fashioned Cornish Figgy Obbin. Look at that. Hi everyone, welcome to Backyard Chef. I'm Rick. Today we're doing an old school proper Cornish dessert. A traditional old recipe. We're making Figgy Obbin. Now you'll be surprised to know there are no figs. No surprise really. You know, going back hundreds of years, they use raisins. There are no figs in this. We are using suet pastry. We're going to roll it traditionally like it was made all those hundreds of years ago. Some people make it flat, but we're going to make it the old school way. Now, we've got a bit of flour. We're going to chuck some baking powder and we're going to make self-raising flour, chuck our fruit in, and we're going to stick it in the oven at 180 to bake for 30 minutes. This is old school, real Cornish recipe Figgy Obbin. Come on. So in here I've got plain all-purpose flour in there, baking powder, little mix in. Now it is a very quick recipe to come together. In there, salt. Put as much salt in as you like. Suet. Today we're using suet, which is melted on the side here, look. There you go. Just mix it in. Nice and straightforward. Just mix that in there. Now some people don't even mix it in, but I like the old-fashioned way of mixing everything properly. You know, my suet's melted on here, but you know, suet in the packet normally just like shredded suet, and you can just stir it in if you want, but I always mix it in, as you know. Now this pudding's famous with the Cornish miners, you know, and obviously the miners went over to America, over to the US, and there's a massive mining area over there. Did they take the pudding with them? I'll be interested to know if this sort of traditional recipes went there. I know they make pasties, but did they make these original old school puddings? And do they still make them today? That will be interesting to know. Now, as you know on this channel, I absolutely love old recipes. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, there are fantastic old recipes. Okay, we're trying to keep the British ones alive here, and obviously they went travelling around the world. People took them with them when on their travels, and there are variations. If you have an old school recipe or know of one, drop me a comment. I want to learn about the old school recipes, and let's see if we can recreate them on this channel. It doesn't matter where they're from. Today I'm using raisins, but I'm using black and I'm using golden raisins, just for the contrast inside. You know, it would be nice to see a little bit of something different in there. So just stir it in, get it in. That's nice and straightforward. Right, what we are going to do today, we're going to use water. You can use milk, or you can use milk and water mixed. So we want to put some water in there. Start off with a half of it if you like. Start bringing it in. It wants to be a thick, stodgy batter or roll this, not wet. So just bring it in nice and steady. And if you have to add just a touch more water, add a touch more water. But don't make it sticky and soggy. It wants to be firm. Now I'm just going to splash a little bit of water in there, look. I feel like that is just slightly too dry. Let's get our hands in and let's have a see. Come on. Now, what you got to do, you've got to mix this and bring it in. But what you don't want to do is really over mix. So nice and steady in there. Okay, we've got that lightly brought together, and what we're going to do is give it a little roll on here. We want to roll it to about 1 inch thick. Now don't go crackers with the rolling. Okay, try and keep it oblong if you can. Okay, that's good enough in my book. Let's just bring those sides in. We want to roll it. Roll it that way, roll it that way. It doesn't matter. You know, you want to roll it over. Now, we don't want to make this too dense, too solid, so we have to roll it quite lightly. Now, it's straightforward, so I'm going to roll it this way. Look, we're just going to bring that over. And it doesn't matter if it crumbles, who cares? Come on. Nice and steady. Just work it over. And there you go. We've got a roll. Now it's not going to puff up super large, this. But you know, we're making a pudding, so we can have a couple of little slices of there. This is a greased tin. No point asking what size the tin is. Put the tin to fit whatever you're rolling. Doesn't matter. So I did say make sure your oven's on at 180. I'm sure I did. That goes on there. See the seam? A little tap down. That's on there. Right, what we do now is brush this with milk and sprinkle some sugar. So it's nice and straightforward. The milk is going to give us the goldenness. The sugar's going to give her the puddingy crust on the top. Fabulous. Okay, and then you take some sugar and you sprinkle some sugar over the top. Can be any sugar. This is just straightforward granulated sugar. Okay, that's straightforward. We bob that in the oven 35-40 minutes. Come on. That looks fabulous. Look at that. Out it comes. There you go. That is old school at best. Just look at that. Traditional pud, it should be quite soft inside. Nice crusty top. Sugar coated. You got your fruit in there. Now this is best served warm. So what we're going to do is just let it cool a little minute, and we'll put it onto a board so we can cut through. And we'll just cut a couple of slices and have it with custard. Yes! Come on, we need to be slicing through this beautiful figgy obbin. Now normally you would just take, in fact I'm going to take the end. Look at that. That is beautiful. Oh, there's some steam coming out of there. Let's have this off here. Oh, look in there. That is pure quality. Look at that. Come on, let's serve it up. Come on there. Nice bit of custard. And there you are, that's our old-fashioned Cornish Figgy Obbin. Look at that. Come on, we're in. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we got that soft bready type pudding in there. Oh, we got that fruit in there. Oh, it's delightful. Bit of crunch on the top with that sugar. Mmm. Oh yeah. That is fabulous. That is absolutely fabulous. Now the thing is with this, you can actually eat this sliced with butter. Delicious. Really is delicious. It's a fantastic old school pudding. Love it. Love it, love it. Now if you want to make it sweeter, you know, you could put a little bit of sugar in there, a tablespoon of sugar in there. But this pudding is not overly sweet. You know, it has a little bit of sugar on the top to make that sugary crusting. It's superb, it's old school, very old, hundreds of years old, worth making. If you like what we're doing, don't forget, share with your friends, tell them how easy it is to make the traditional Figgy Obbin. And if you do like what we're doing, big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell. Catch you in the next video.